I would like to begin with a quote by Albert Einstein. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Albert Einstein was a famous physicist who, he was the one who discovered the equation E equals mc squared, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. And this quote resonated with me because I always try to be of help, of service to those around me. And as he said, strive to be of value. I would like to cast some light on what strengths and abilities would make me an exceptional employee for you. I'm great at communicating, I have integrity, and I have strong interpersonal skills. The first strength that I would like to highlight is that I'm a great communicator. As a secretary, my communication skills are incredibly important. That is really the main part of my job, is facilitating communication between people. So I forward phone calls to who they need to go, and sometimes when people call, they don't know who they're trying to reach. They don't know why they're calling. They just heard about this place and they think that that's where they need to take their child, and sometimes they're not calling the right place, or sometimes they might need to call somewhere else first and then they can call us to schedule an appointment. And sometimes people even show up to the hospital and they don't know why they're there. They were just told to come. And I'm the one who has to find out why they're there and then send them to who they need to go to. So that line of communication between them and between the person that they're going to see is very important to keep. And where I work is a children's facility. The reason they hired me for a children's facility is because of my next point. And that is, I have a strong sense of ethics. There was a time where I was working as a unit secretary, and I always would tell myself every morning before I would go to work, if I did one good thing in my day, then that was a good day. And I was having a rough day, but the one good thing that I was able to do that day was I was able to fix a Baker Act patient. When I showed up into his room to sit for him, it was a disaster. The furniture was still in there. The restraints were so tight on the patient, his wrists were starting to bleed. There were no sheets on the bed, which is what patient doesn't have sheets on their bed? That's absolutely unacceptable. And I went and I took it upon myself to make sure someone came and loosened his restraints and got sheets on his bed, because I can't do that myself as a secretary. I can't touch patients. And I also went and I pushed all the furniture myself out of the room. I didn't really have anyone helping me, and I didn't need it, because if I can do it myself, then I will. And I went and I put an incident report, as protocol would ask for, against the nurse, because the room should have been prepared. None of that should have happened. That was a failure on the nurse's part, and an incident report did need to be placed. And one of the reasons they like for me to sit for people is because of my next point, and that is, I'm a people person. One time I was pulled from the floor to sit for a Baker Act patient in the ED, and trigger warning, the patient, she'd come in for SI, which if you know what SI is, then you understand that it's a very sensitive situation for the patient. And what I did was I talked to her. She was crying. She was having a full-on meltdown, and she was going through it. And I didn't see her as just someone freaking out. I saw her as another person, and I talked to her. I found out why she was there. I found out what happened, and I helped her get the help that she needed by just talking to her and just really just being that nice person, that one nice person that she would feel comfortable with. And yeah, it was really heartwarming being there for someone. I hope through all of this I was able to cast some insight as to what would make me a viable candidate for your employment and for your company. And that really would boil down to I'm a great communicator, I have a strong sense of morals, and I have top-notch interpersonal skills. And as Albert Einstein strove to be of value, I always strive to be of value to those around me and to be of help to those around me.